fellow celebrity gossip enthusiasts. I'm Travis Cronin. You're listening to Us Weekly's Hot Hollywood podcast. Today, I'm joined by my two lovely co-hosts, the birthday girl of many celebrations, Gwen Flamberg.
That's me. Don't stop. Keep it rocking.
And the woman coming for all of Vanessa Hudgens' gigs, wearing sneakers to music festivals, Sarah Huron.
Hi, Travis.
Hello. Well, guys, today we have freedom. When calls the return to set? That will make sense later. A lesbian space commune, pansexual alien encounter, and much, much more. Never thought I'd say this in this podcast, but here we are. But as we do, let's start with our woes of the week. This is what made our co-hosts and hosts go aghast and just have a minor freak out and just be bewildered and bedazzled. Sarah Huron, what made you bewilder and bedazzle this week?
We're going to do a Bachelor-themed woe because I haven't been able to talk about this on the Bachelor podcast yet because there's been so much VIP drama to unpack. First of all, R.I.P. Claire and Dale. They have called it quits again. Not so woe-worthy, but just important to, keep the people updated. My bigger woe was Jesse Palmer, set to host The Bachelor. It's a woe for two reasons. One, I can't believe I didn't think of this because it's so obvious. He is a host. He was a bachelor back in the day. He works with ABC. He's on ESPN. He hosted The Ultimate Surfer. He hosted The Proposal. I think he was just waiting for Chris Harrison to flub so he could step in. But then it's also woe because while it makes sense on paper, it is slightly confusing to me overall because he was the Bachelor back in 2004. The show has changed quite a bit. I just don't know if he, is the best choice. I think it's a safe choice. He's a former football player. The new Bachelor has some football ties. But it's kind of boring. And he's kind of basically just Chris Harrison again. And I was hoping for maybe a two Bachelor duo, the same way we had Caitlyn and Tayshia step up for the Bachelorette to get a little bit more deep and girl talk, but boy chats. And I think this is just going to be very standard. He's very well spoken and I'm sure he'll be just fine. But I was looking for a different direction. But at the same time, this is so obvious and I can't believe I didn't think it.
Well, he's boring and that makes me go whoa too, Sarah. Gwen Flamberg, what made you go whoa this week?
Well, guys, it's kind of like a double woe because first I totally went whoa when I saw Duchess Kate Middleton step out on that No Time to Die red carpet wearing a glamorous golden Jenny Packham gown. I mean, she looked like a literal queen, which is funny because one day she will be the literal queen. But then the comparison came out that actually it was a nod to a dress that Princess Diana wore to the 1985 premiere of another Bond movie. Which Bond movie was it, Travis? It was definitely
Travis,
a Roger
Bond
Moore
trivia,
one.
Go.
Octopussy.
Yeah. It wasn't Octopussy. It was another Bond
film
premiere. Yeah, I wish I could remember. I hate when I do this. I think it was A View to a Kill. I knew that it was a Roger Moore Bond movie. But yeah, Princess Diana wore a dress that was almost the same cut, the same color palette. And, as we've seen often, Duchess Kate does pay homage to her late mother-in-law, Princess Diana, by wearing her jewels and in many other ways with fashion. And of course, you guys, you can read all about this current homage and also check out all of the past times that Duchess Kate has dressed like Princess Diana on usmagazine.com/stylish.
Wait,
loved
speaking of royals,
that dress.
I love that dress too, Travis. She looked amazing. But I should have made my woe the fact that I saw Harry and Meghan in person just days ago.
Now, wait a second. You saw them at the Global Citizen concert, right, Sarah?
I did.
Now, how close did you actually get to them? I need feet. I need to know, did you see Meghan Markle's, could you tell if she had a pimple? Were you that
No,
close?
I definitely could not tell if she had a pimple, but I did see them like before they went on stage, like they were standing and I was like on the side that they came out on and they were holding hands. They were like, she was like smiling. They were like ready for their freaking close up and the crowd like loved them. It was when he called her wife and everyone like went nuts. Like he just announced like the biggest thing on the planet. Meanwhile, a few hours later when Bill de Blasio came out, he was booed up the wazoo. So Meghan and Harry, very well loved amongst in New York. And taking their job very seriously, very like lovey from what I could see behind the scenes. So it was fascinating to, be at anywhere, breathe the same air as them, really.
Listen, I mean, I am all for them as a couple. I would actually if I had been in your position, Sarah, I might have fainted. Like I might have just been dead on the spot. You would have had to mop me up. But also, aren't they being filmed for one of their Netflix documentaries? So is it real? Is it for show? Is it a little bit of both?
I was feeling the love. I was feeling the love and whatever. And I've always said, I think we've both agreed on this. We have issues with Meghan and Harry sometimes and how they handle things. But my biggest takeaway from that interview, besides all the scandal, was that they love each other so much. Like whether it's, however it happened and whatever, they are infatuated with each other. And that kind of came out also on the stage. So it was.
Well, she has managed to succeed in doing something that I think, some people try to do in a relationship, which is to kind of take their significant other as their own and build this kind of wall around them so that it's them against the world. Mm-hmm. And she's really managed to do that. And I think that that's part of like their, some might call it codependency. I don't know.
Wow.
Definitely love.
Codependency.
Maybe codependency.
What made me not go whoa was that every single outfit Meghan Markle wears and the Kate Middleton wears is an ode to Princess Diana. Every single one. So it's lovely, but really, really not shocking to me. I think I've seen that headline, at least 200 times in the last year.
Yeah.
Well,
also, why was Meghan wearing so many coats in New York? It's her
look. She's monochromatic, wearing coats. It wasn't even hot, but that is her look, and she is sticking to it.
Okay.
Well, my woe is from Shakira. You may know Shakira from
Shakira.
Yes, from Shakira. Shakira, her hips do not lie. And just being an amazing singer and having a really interesting vocal tone. But that's not what made me go whoa this week at all. She was accosted by two wild boars who made off with her handbag. Yeah, she went on Instagram and posted some stories and she says, quote, "They destroyed everything." She said she was attacked by two piffering pigs, some gigantic wild boars, which can get up to 800 to 1,200 pounds, which attacked her while she was in a park in Barcelona with her 8-year-old son, Milan. So the she-wolf singer, just had to get that in there, took her bag into the woods with her phone in it. And then she turned to her son and she says, "Milan, tell the truth. Show how your mommy stood up to the wild boar." And apparently she fought back the wild boar a little bit and protected her family. And that just made me go, whoa, because it's not very often that pop stars get in fights with two wild boars. So thank you for that, Shakira. Let us move into some news of the week. Cue the confetti cannons because Britney is free. I wish we had lots of sound effects because I'd hit every single one on the board. Yes, I mean, Britney still has a little bit way to go. Her next court hearing where her conservatorship is officially removed without anyone being in charge is coming up. But the biggest step in the case has been taken this week when her dad was suspended, love that word, exiled, maybe the court should use, as her conservator. Early this year, her dad, Jimmy Spears, filed court documents announcing that he was going to step down from being her conservator. But now the judge has suspended him, kicked him to the curb. And guys, I'm just so happy about this victory for Britney Spears. She posted on Instagram with Sam from a plane, said she was flying on cloud 9, flying in the clouds. Sam posted support for her. And it's really just a lovely story. Gwen Flamberg, where were you when you heard the news that you will never forget?
I'm just so happy for Britney. I'm so happy that this, it kind of turned out the way that those of us who are part of the Free Britney movement wanted it to, and kind of faster than I expected it to. So I'm just thrilled, and I hope that now Britney takes this freedom and uses it responsibly.
Very good point. Sarah Huron, Free Britney, semi-advocate. How do you feel?
Oh, first of all, are you kidding? I'm such an advocate. That was so rude. I was working, so there's that. Thank you, Britney, for, the late court call. No, I am obviously very happy for Britney. I watched the update to Framing Britney Spears, Controlling Britney Spears. It's definitely worth watching. The guy who worked for their security is in it. There's a lot of interesting claims about how she was monitored and tracked and stuff. I can't wait to watch Britney versus Spears on Netflix. I haven't watched that one yet. And obviously super happy for Britney. I have all the faith in the world that she's gonna handle this well. She's going to be the queen she is. And I just snaps to her lawyer, who I saw a tweet in 40 days he did what her other lawyer couldn't do in 13 years. So shout out to him. He is a true advocate for Britney and a boss lawyer. Elle Woods vibes for Matthew. Thank you for your service.
I love Matthew. We need to get him on a t-shirt. And Controlling Britney Spears was an amazing documentary from the New York Times on Hulu. I did watch Britney versus Spears. It's not as good as the Hulu one.
Okay.
It's just not as dramatic, but it's fun to watch both. But if you're looking for a light pick-me-up, I wouldn't watch either because they are both very, very, very depressing.
Yeah.
Well, Sarah, do you hear that ring? Do you hear that ringing? Because I think Wen is calling you and he wants your heart? Question mark. So, Sarah Huron, please dissect this non-grammatically correct English sentence and tell it why it really means Aunt Becky is back.
He's back. It's just like Hallmark Channel wants us to say, Aunt Becky's back. Yes, Lori Loughlin, you guys. It is 2021. The fall of 2021 is the year of the Loughlin Giannulli family as Olivia Jade tackles Dancing with the Stars, which we'll get to in a second. Lori is heading to Canada. She is going to reprise her role as Abigail from When Calls the Heart. She is not appearing on When Calls the Heart because turns out that show got a spinoff that nobody knew about, and it airs on GAC Family, which is an affiliate of Hallmark, and it is called, of course, When Hope Calls. So she will be playing her same character,
Thank
Abigail.
goodness.
Hope is calling, baby. She will be playing her same character with, I'm sure, just as much heart as she would on When Calls the Heart, and extra hope, because she is going to appear in the 2-part premiere, When Hope Calls: A Country Christmas, which will hit GAC Family in December. And she got permission from the judge to travel to Canada. She is there right now. And a source tells us that Lori is very excited about this return. She, quote, can't wait to get back to work. She's been waiting for a long time to get back on set. She's looking forward to the future and is ready to film When Calls the Heart.
Well, I actually reached out to Sarah Huron for comment because this is a huge day for you. So Sarah Huron, tell us now live, how do you feel?
I mean, again, I've never seen When Calls the Heart or When Hope Calls, although I am a frequent Hallmark Channel viewer. I just miss those episodes. But honestly, hot take, I'm happy for Lori. She did her time. She paid her fees. It's I don't think we should be handing her an Oscar or a humanitarian award anytime soon, but I think
never any risk of that.
Right. I think it's okay for her to film this Hallmark spinoff. The fans want her. If you look at the comments, there are people celebrating. You got Candace Cameron Bure celebrating. A bunch of the Hallmark people are celebrating. She clearly was very beloved on the set of these shows. And I think it's okay for her to reprise her role as Abigail Stanton. I really do. What do you think?
Well, Gwen, has enough time passed? Are we as a country, as a nation, as a culture ready to forgive Lori Loughlin and see her back where she belongs and is happiest with her friend Wen calling to her heart?
And hope.
I can't speak for the whole country, you guys, but I personally, I'm not ready to forgive. What she did was terrible. And I just think that she should sort of go away. I think that you should just kind of concentrate on being a mom now.
Wow.
I don't know. While I agree with Gwen that it was, horrible, she really was just trying to cheat the system and screw other kids' lives for the sake of her children.
Exactly. So and using her privilege in the meanwhile.
And using her privilege. Yeah. But it's would any other parent in that situation have done any different? Hopefully they would, so they can stay out of jail. But I'm sort of ready to forgive Lori Loughlin now.
Okay. Short memories y'all have. have.
I know. I mean, always. But also, it's interesting. I really just want Lori to show up to Dancing with the Stars. We still have not seen her. And Felicity Huffman filmed a pilot like a year ago, and I know her crimes weren't as bad, but she's getting to be like on ABC. Everything's working out the way it should. Karma is doing its job. Felicity gets to go back to ABC, and Lori has to stay on the Hallmark Channel's affiliate channel. She's not even getting a movie. She's getting a small part in the Wind Calls the Heart spinoff that doesn't even air on Hallmark. Like, it's I think it's okay.
It's throwing her a little bone.
Yeah, a little bone.
Well, let's go to a couple who sources tell us are not doing so well that we on the Hot Hollywood podcast saw miles away. Olivia Munn and John Mullaney. A source told us that John and Olivia are happy together as a couple, but things are moving fast, too fast for either of them, and this has caused a little rift in their relationship. The baby came out of left field and hit them like a ton of bricks. Neither was expecting this to happen. There's a little strain, but they're not on the verge of a breakup. Friends aren't sure of Olivia's due date or when they really seem to have got together, but things seem to have overlapped romantically with his ex-wife still in the picture more than they are letting on. John and Olivia are currently living together and working through it and are probably going to be okay, but this is causing a little bit of a rift. Now, we knew from judging baby bumps professionally that the time frames didn't quite work out with how far along she's due, and sources tell us this is causing a little bit of a rift. Sarah Huron, I know you're not surprised, but what do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, this is about the least surprising information on the planet. As I think I've said this before, but whenever a baby or a child is going to be involved, it's tough. So I don't wish bad things for this unborn child, but at the same time, I mean, Olivia Munn, her track record speaks for itself. And obviously, John Mullaney has had a wild year in and out of substance abuse treatment and getting divorced and now becoming a dad. I think this is a recipe for, maybe not the easiest happily ever after.
Can I pipe in here, you guys? All right.
Please.
One thing we can definitively say about Olivia Munn and John Mullaney without casting any aspersions is that they are both adults and they both have high IQs. These are two smart individuals. And the stork doesn't just drop off a baby. You know what I'm saying? They were seeing each other. They were sleeping together. She got pregnant and they decided to have the baby. It's that simple. And yes, things seem to be moving quite fast. Nobody really knows the timeline of any of it, but let's not blame it on nobody saw this coming, come on, guys, buck up. You're two smart grown-ups. You were sleeping together. You got pregnant. You decided to have the baby. If you're not connecting as a couple, that's because you haven't been a couple yet, but call a spade a spade.
See, I think that they are so smart, documented, proven, but I think their EQ, their emotional intelligence is a little lower than other people's. They seem a little bit, they're sort of awkward, nerdy weirdos. And I think that the emotional part of this is sort of fallen behind the intellectual part of this. And I'm a little worried for them. The baby's going to be fine. They're both amazing people. I know they're going to be great parents. I just don't, like the source said, don't know if they will be together for the baby.
I mean, it's not to age shame, but she's in her early 40s. So if she wanted to have a child, this could have been the time. Right. And she was willing to take the risk.
Which is great. Which is awesome. But then don't blame the baby and why, your relationship might not be exactly what you wanted it to be. She probably did get pregnant and see it as an opportunity to become a mother. And all right, so let's see where it goes. And maybe they'll stay together and maybe they won't.
Great. Well, babies always heal all relationships. So let's see if this one works for that. Well, let's go again to the A-list. We have Angelina Jolie spotted with the Weeknd again, a couple that I am fascinated about, mainly just because they're from two different worlds and the age gap, and I just never would have guessed them together, but I sort of really like it and hope it's true. Well, a source told us that both Angie and Abel, the Weeknd's real name, in case y'all didn't know, are telling people that they're just friends, but those who know them think something romantic is going on. Angie lights up when she talks about him, and Abel is in awe of Angelina. Right now, this is just a friendship, but friends believe things could turn romantic for them. The source continues, Angie is playing down the talk of anything serious, but she's definitely warming towards Abel, and he's been pouring on the charm and going out of his way to impress her. Now, I think we should throw it back to a little sink or ship. Gwen Flamberg, The Weeknd and Angelina Jolie, sink or ship this possible new couple?
I'm sailing away. Shippity ship. I'm into this couple. I think that he's a smart dude, obviously a high EQ. We were just touching on that. She's usually interested at this point in her life in people with super substance. And I don't know, I kind of like that these two are taking it slow, are becoming special friends before it develops into something that they'll tag as romantic. But I don't know, I kind of dig it. And like, I don't know, with Abel, he always is with the hottest humans. So like,
yes,
whatever this guy has, I'd be interested in getting intimate with it.
Sarah Huron, what about you? Are you looking to date The Weeknd and find out why he does date all of the hottest women in Hollywood?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't not ship. I am a little confused, but sometimes that's the best pairings. I love a left field moment. And now more than ever, I think Bella Hadid should shoot her shot with Brad Pitt.
Ooh, interesting.
Well,
but
she has a long-term boyfriend too.
Yeah, it's not who I would like to see Brad Pitt with.
Well,
he's a fashiony guy. Well, I promised you non-binary pansexual alien encounters, and that's what I will deliver. Yes, we are talking about Demi Lovato in their new unscripted Peacock series because we needed an 11th documentary from them. Unidentified, undivided. I'm sure the next one will be the other one. It does not matter. So Demi took to Joshua Tree, lovely place, one of my favorite places, and they were with their sister Dallas and their skeptical best friend Matthew, and they attempted to uncover the truth about UFO phenomena by meeting alien abductees, investigating eyewitness encounters, and digging up secret government reports. Luckily, Demi is on the case. So Demi spoke to Entertainment Weekly, and they asked what, sparked their interest in UFOs. And Demi said, I had a pretty profound experience on my 28th birthday. I made alien contact, and it was pretty mind-blowing. Ever since I started to look into this more, and I wanted to do a show about it. Don't worry, they get into it more. We were stargazing. We tried to do this protocol where you make contact and all of a sudden something showed up directly above the sky. It was huge lights that made a question mark almost in the sky. And then it just blacked out. I realized that in my life was probably going to change in a spiritual way because I have a spiritual connection to this journey as well. Love a spiritual connection to aliens. Why not? They, Entertainment Weekly asked if they were freaked out. She says, you would think I'd be freaked out, but what I have found in these experiences is the love. There is no fear. The feeling when you get with these beings is so warm and loving and accepting that you're just overwhelmed with joy. Sarah Huron, what are your thoughts on Demi Lovato's possibly romantic but definitely joyous alien encounter in Joshua Tree?
There's nothing I need less in this world than more Demi Lovato content and Demi Lovato alien content. I just simply do not care. I have not cared about aliens since the episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians when Khloe and Tristan tried to find a UFO. That was about as much as I could take. And I don't know who keeps giving Demi Lovato television shows, but they need to reevaluate their decisions. And that is my hot take.
I absolutely agree with that. There are too many documentaries, maybe like a song, maybe an acting role, just something that's less about you.
Yeah.
Gwen Flamberg, have you had any alien encounters while on vacation?
I've never had any alien encounters, Travis, but I will tell you that once I saw a ghost, and I did feel like I knew that I actually had really seen the ghost because I didn't feel fear. I felt this kind of warm, loving thing. So I think that they are a bit confused, and what they saw out there in Joshua Tree was a ghost, not an alien.
Wow.
But also
Hot
every
take.
time they
controversial. How are you so brave?
Demi Lovato might fight you like she fought that they fought that frozen yogurt place.
It's very, very possible. Every time they come out with something a bit, left of center like this, I just worry about them. So, good luck, Demi.
Good luck. Well, we don't know if aliens exist or not. They probably do, but I don't believe that there are question marks over Demi Lovato's head. Well, before we get into lesbian space communes, Sarah Huron, why don't you tell us all about Dancing with the Stars and the new dancing queen, not ABBA. It is Olivia Jade.
You guys, Dancing with the Stars week 2, they all were really good again. Not as good, honestly, as the premiere. I think everyone's nerves maybe were getting to them after the competition was heating up. But obviously, we lost the Karate Kid as our first eliminated contestant since he could barely walk. God bless Martin Cove or whatever. But now I actually don't know who's going to go next. I think that there is interesting. It's going to be the fan bases, see who shows up. And there was this controversy based on this blind gossip item that Olivia Jade struck some deal with ABC to be on the show till at least week 3. So this tweet went out that said Olivia Jade supposedly has a deal to stay on for at least 3 weeks without being in danger, #Dancing with the Stars. And Robert Mills, who is like the head of like special programming at ABC, he does Bachelor stuff, he does Dancing with the Stars stuff, all those like summer shows that you're watching that are ridiculous, he is in charge of. And he responded, "This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. The show is a competition and as such is subject to legal and broadcast standard regulations." So shutting that down, glad he shut it down, but of course it just made more attention onto Olivia, who controversy seemingly followed, and now I'm sure people are more convinced than ever is on the show with some fake deal.
I don't understand. But here's the thing. It's like, don't people phone in who goes home? How can they strike a deal for her to stay? Is there like evidence that if they praise her, people won't phone her in?
No, this is all just a claim that they are going to like rig the votes. Like if Olivia was in the bottom 2, they wouldn't announce it. I just don't think that's true. It's only week 1, and the bottom 2 was exactly what you would expect. It was Martin Cove, who couldn't dance, and the girl from Bling Empire, because I don't even remember her name, because Bling
Christine
Empire.
Chu.
Yeah, but that's true. I mean, it obviously
with the
had a moment,
wigs,
but I don't think she has the fan base. And it's the same
I
thing
am a
with
Christine Chu fan.
I don't know. I think that Christine Chu has Bling Empire had a huge following, and I think that there is probably a big cult following for her.
But I just still watching Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, it's Reality Nation. It's people who are really into Bling Empire. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. You're the reality queen. I actually put all of my trust into you, Sarah Huron.
Wow.
Same.
When you speak of these things.
Thank you so much. I'm very intrigued to see how far Olivia does go, and if Lori will grace us with her presence in the ballroom. I'm thinking maybe she won't, honestly, which I think is upsetting after not coming forward.
Is.
If the first 2 weeks are the only guaranteed. Like if Olivia went home first, she would have missed her chance. And now she's in Canada shooting When Hope Calls the Hardys of whatever. So will she show up? I just don't know. But, waiting for Olivia this week, instead of talking about the college cheating scandal, she did her partner Val's makeup for a vlog. So that was exciting for me to watch,
Oh, yeah. Getting back to her roots. We love to see it. And I don't know why I really want Lori Loughlin to go watch Dancing with the Stars, but I don't want Lori and Massimo together. I feel like that's too much.
You don't want Massimo to leave his house.
I don't want Massimo to leave his house. I don't know why I've forgiven Lori, but not have forgiven Massimo. I can't quantify it, and it makes no sense, but he's not forgiven.
Feel it, though. I kind of feel it.
Right. I think it's because he acted when he was in jail versus how she did.
Yeah, he tried to get out early, and like the recordings or like the emails that are alleged, encounters with the guidance counselor, he was just like so rude. Like Lori and Olivia, obviously, I'm sure they were in the know and like it still was wrong, but they kind of seem to be following Massimo's lead.
It is.
He was aggressive.
Well, let's move on to lesbian space commune. So we know that Elon Musk and Grimes have split up after giving birth to their child, who no one can pronounce their name because it's just look it up. So, a lot of couples divide up assets. A lot of couples divide up, the house, the cars, the kids, but Grimes and Elon are dividing up space. And Grimes exclusively told Page 6 via email that she will be colonizing one of Jupiter's moons. She says that Elon has given her one of these moons for her lesbian space commune. It's like hopefully a little bit of a joke with Elon Musk getting a SpaceX contract with NASA for $178 million to help them reach Jupiter's moons. And apparently he's going to give that to Grimes to start a lesbian space commune. Do we support this dividing of moons, space? It's just a weird story, but
I don't understand. I don't understand Grimes and Elon Musk. I never understood them. I don't get it. I don't get what they named their child. I don't get, is this her telling us that she's pansexual and that's what broke up the marriage? But obviously they're going to co-parent on Jupiter. They just confuse me. And I don't even really find it amusing.
Oh, see, I love a co-parenting on Jupiter. Sarah Huron, I can tell by your face that you have no feelings towards this story at all.
Whatever I said about Demi Lovato, insert their names.
Okay, great. Well, our last story, I think you're going to like a little bit more because it's Khloe Kardashian who clapped back or more responded to a fan who said that she was banned from the Met Gala. Someone on Twitter suggested that Khloe had been banned from the Met Gala. And then Khloe individually they tagged Khloe, and then she clarified that it is absolutely not true. She said she is not banned from this. But what I really found interesting about this story was that it was such a self-read. It was like, I haven't been banned from the Met Gala. I've just never been invited, was the sort of like subtext of that tweet. And it just made me really sad that she chose to respond to that. She's like, oh no, I haven't been banned. Just no one's asked me. Please get that right. Thank you. Sarah Huron, do you think that Khloe deserves to go to the Met Gala? Because I sort of do.
Yeah, I totally do. I don't think it makes sense at this point to exclude any Kardashian Jenner from an event that's about influence and fashion and style. Khloe's style is certainly, I would say, maybe the most questionable amongst the family. Yes. She still makes some wild choices, but at the same time, I think she deserves a shot. I would love to see all 5 of them walk together because Kourtney's never been either. And I would thought her and Travis would be there this year. They weren't. And I would love to see a Kardashian moment, maybe like all dressed in the same designer, walking together, maybe like bring Northwest also, just like for fun.
I would love that too. Gwen, is that allowed on your red carpet at the Met Gala? Full Kardashians and children?
Why not? As we know, there are several celebrities who are asked to come and walk the red carpet, but maybe don't pay the $50,000 plate fee. I would love to see actually all the kids. I find the kids the most interesting and also the best dressed of the whole family. And for the record, I have met and chatted with pretty much every Kardashian. And I can tell you that Khloe is the one with the best personality. So absolutely. I don't see why Anna doesn't want her to entertain at a table. I think that maybe even in May, she'll be in.
Oh, yeah. If I were going to sit down at a table with any of them, having spoken to them, it is absolutely Khloe.
Yeah, she's the fun one.
Well, thank you so much to my co-hosts, Sarah and Gwen, for helping me spill all of this piping hot celebrity this week. Again, this is Travis Cronin on Us Weekly's Hot Hollywood podcast with your weekly peek into the glamour, glitter, fashion, fame of your favorite celebrities. After all, they're just like us. All right. See if we do better next week. Thanks, guys.